Honestly, just a matter of getting discovered in a way that isn't. What? I thought you quit.
Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode of Lanesmash 7 discussions, or whatever title I decide to give this. Basically, I've been harassed enough to make this video, and we'll see how it goes. So, who am I? My name is, of course, Dubnus, and today we'll be discussing the upcoming PlanetSide 2 Lanesmash Season number 7 for the 2022 year. It's looking to be a pretty exciting season, one of the closest seasons perhaps we've had in a while. Of course, the last season back here around this time in 2021 was won by the Euro stack, the traditional Euro stack, Cats beating the NA stack back, which was called Turtle, back here, of course, in early of last year. Now, as you can see, I've got the public schedule up here. The season starts this weekend, and it's going to be pretty good. If you don't know what Lanesmash is, it's okay. I'll quickly tell you. 24 versus 24. These teams, they log in, they fight over a lane, and most lanes are 30 minutes. There is one lane which is 40 minutes, which we don't have to talk about today because it's not being played this weekend. And essentially, the way you win is by capping a base and getting points because of it. One base capture equals 1 point. That's all there is to it. It's really simple. You can win, say, the opener in both halves and just win the game 2-0. Pretty easy. It's a very straightforward concept. So let's dive into everything. So I've got the schedule here. I've got the groups. I've got the lanes. I've got the staff, I've got the teams, and I've even got the pre-season schedule to provide some context to what I'm going to say, because some of it might upset people if I don't provide context. Our first match this weekend is going to be Cope versus Mood on the Dahaka Crown lane. That neutral base, of course, is Seabed. Listening post. Look, there's no easy way to say this. Mood, they don't have a chance unless Cope just straight up throw. They literally have to throw. Mood are playing VS, which is the off-meta faction. As you can probably tell, the meta for faction picks are NC or TR depending on your preference. VS for a variety of reasons, not the meta choice. So I expect Cope to pretty much dominate that game, unless they're throwing or they're memeing. And then the match happening at the exact same time is Rat versus PTSD. This is going to be a much closer match, although I still favour Rat. The reason being, they have a lot of experience, which PTSD also do, but I think Rat have stronger air. And if that is indeed the case, then PTSD will lose. But I don't think it will be a stomp. Last year, Cats versus PTSD, which is what Rat, a majority of Rat's players comes from. Last year, you would expect, a pretty easy victory for Rat. This year, it's closer. I would say maybe a 3-0 for Rat. PTSD could even get a point off them, maybe 3-1. The Hurricane X-Tab lane, it's a decent lane. It's got the Gurney Dam neutral base, so we could see a 3-1 there. I don't think that's outside the range of possibilities. Come versus CBT. Full disclaimer, I am mentoring two teams this year, Come and Toes. And I've also been, over the last 2-3 years, been mentoring on and off Cobalt Terrans as well. So I know these two teams pretty freaking well. And honestly, you know, CBT, they looked really good last weekend in their match against PTSD. They beat them 4-0, but Cum did beat CBT 3-0 on the Hurricane X-Tab lane. So it's not the same lane. It's the Ziggurat neutral base, lane 4 here. Sorry, lane 5. There's no universal. I can't find what they're using for the universal laning numbering system. So that's really annoying. But it is the on this graphic at least, it's the lane 5 Zots to Genesis, with Jaeger being the neutral base. So I'm going to say Come to win on that one, and I promise I'm just not saying all the home teams, which home teams, it doesn't matter if they're playing at home, quote unquote, not really. But I'm also going to repeat it again for Toes versus Sammy. Listen, Toes should have no issues. Again, I'm mentoring Toes. They should have no issues against Sammy. That should be a 4-0 probably at least. Sammy, one of the only teams to be in the B bracket, or what was going to be the B bracket. Instead, we've got two different groups rather than two different brackets. The other team, which was going to be in the B bracket, was VCats, and VCats versus Rally this Sunday or this Saturday, depending on where you are in the world. Listen, Rally, they're going to take it away, no doubt in my mind. VCats are really strong with their infantry play, so if they have the right approach on Gurney Dam, they could actually get the upset 2-0. Like, I'd say there's a decent chance, a 30% chance of that happening, but I think Rally will be tightened up enough by then, because they didn't look very good against WFAT. Speaking of WFAT, of course, we have HKLA versus WFAT on the Sunday. Listen, HKLA, WFAT, we could see a pretty close game here. We might not, because WFAT have a lot of experience, and so I'm going to say WFAT to win. So a quick recap there of who I expect to win: Cope, Rat, Cum, Toes, Rally, and WFAT. Of course, that's just my opinion. It's just kind of my understanding of the teams and what I've seen throughout the whole preseason and all the casting of a lot of these matches that went on. We look at, say, all these different rosters, and I think the evidence is pretty. Without making this video like ridiculously long for no reason, like I could go through, say, the Rally roster, right, and be like, okay, so on the Rally roster, if we have a look at, Jeff Ardino, right, played in Pelex, tried to lead a team, wasn't a very successful team in Pelex, in 2021, but he clearly showed the right mentality during that tournament, and that's just one example. I don't think. Oh, what? Hang on, is that right? No, that's wrong. That's the wrong lineup. Thanks, organisers. So this is actually the wrong lineup. Rally. Yeah, this is wrong. This Rally team should have a different name. They should have the name. 1 second. That's ridiculous. They should have the name BCOC, or what did they end up calling themselves? Sammy. They should have the name Sammy. Right? So I don't know why they're. So who's Sammy? Why is their roster repeated twice? That's crazy. Come on, guys. How difficult can it be to fucking copy paste? Anyway, that's not the Rally roster. The Rally roster is totally different. It's led by Frederick, and VCats probably don't stand a chance against Frederick and his goons. So that was a really bad example to use. Thanks, organisers. There's the list of organisers who you can blame for that mistake. No, I'm joking, of course. Thank you to all the organisers and referees. Anyway, that is a quick run through of the season and what we can expect. If people want more in-depth, shall we say, content and analysis, and I can do things like talking through each lane, perhaps more in-depth expectations, and also once we see the matches, we can go back, we can compare what actually happened versus what I said would happen, and if that interests people, and if I get harassed enough to do it, I will make more content like this. Thank you for wasting your time. Don't bother liking or subscribing. Have a good night.